Okay, guys, sorry about that. My hand hit the mouse and stopped the recording. Okay, so what I was saying was that we're going to talk about the three parts of the atom, what they are called, what they do or what they mean, and where they are found. So the first part to the atom is the proton. All right. Protons are found in the nucleus. Okay? And a proton has a positive charge. Okay? So they are charged electrically, like a battery would be. You can have a positive side, you can have a negative side, and then you can have no charge at all. All right, so protons, P for proton, P for positive. They are positively charged. Okay? Your next part is called the neutron. All right, the neutron is found in the nucleus as well. All right, so both of these are found in the nucleus together. Now, neutrons don't have a charge, so they are neutral or no charge. Okay, NEU for neutral, NEU for neutron. That's how we remember that. All right, your last particle of the atom is called the electron. Okay, the electron is not found in the nucleus. It is found outside in the electron cloud. Okay, it's got a little fuzzy cloud around it, and that's where they float around. It is negatively charged, so it has a negative charge. And there's no easy way to kind of rhyme that together. You just remember that neutrons are neutral, protons are positive. They are found on the inside. The one that's found on the outside is exactly the opposite. It is the negative charge. Okay? And so electrons are on the outside of the atom, and protons and neutrons are on the inside of the atom. Okay? All right, now before I leave this page and continue with our notes, we want to talk about this top section that you have up here. All right, I have little cutouts sometimes that you're going to put in your journal, and you're going to glue them in. All right, these are called synonym charts. So you're going to dot, not a lot. Please do not liquefy this page. And you're going to glue it into this top section right here. Okay? Now, I didn't make my lines big enough, but you can do that. That's okay. All right, now, this is called a synonym chart. And a synonym chart is how you're going to help yourself remember what each word means. So, for example, we've already done the vocabulary word atom. And so a synonym for atom would be smallest unit. Okay? The electron cloud would be the outside. The electron would be negative. The proton would be positive. And the neutron would be neutral. And even if you wanted to add it, both of these are on the inside. So we've already done a few of our synonym notes. So take a moment and fill in, glue in and fill in your synonym chart. Okay, now we're going to continue, and I want you to move over to the left-hand side of your journal. We're going to set it up like we did the other side, but we're going to do this a little differently. We're going to title this Atoms Continued. Okay, we're going to go ahead and draw a line across the top, and then we are going to draw a line, but we're going to stop about 5 lines till the bottom of the page. If you take a look at mine, let me get this up higher, this camera. Okay, I stopped about right there, and I'm going to draw another line across the bottom right here. This bottom part is called your summary. So when we finish, we are going to summarize our notes on atoms. And I will do the first summary with you, but after that, you are required to complete your own summaries. Okay? All right, so I'm going to zoom this page back in where you can see. All right, and the next thing we're going to do is diagram an atom. So we're going to write over here, diagram of an atom. Okay, so you guys have already learned about cells, and you know the nucleus is located inside the cell. So we're going to create a nucleus right here, okay? And inside that nucleus are what 2 particles we talked about before. If you look back to your notes on the other page, you will remember that inside the nucleus are the protons and the neutrons. So, over here in our diagram, protons have a positive charge and neutrons have no charge. So that's what's going to be on the inside. Now, on the outside of the atom is this little cloud or ring, and it's going to have little tiny subatomic particles. All right? These guys are going to be the electrons. All right? So, an electron is right here, and it has a negative charge. This little ring right here, oops, I messed up my arrow. That little ring is called the electron cloud. Okay? This inner circle right here is the nucleus. And inside the nucleus are your protons and your neutrons. Okay? So those are all the parts of the atom. All right? Now, we're going to write one more little short thing right here. The nucleus plus the electron cloud make up the entire atom. You have to have both parts to make up the entire atom. All right, we're going to do one last thing before we stop with these notes, and we are going to talk about the element tiles on the periodic table. Now, your first assignment was to color the periodic table and color it into the 3 different sections and label it, and you also had to figure out or color which ones were gases, which ones were liquids, and then all the rest on the table were solids. Okay? Now, we're going to discuss what each part of that element tile means. Okay? So we're going to title over here, element tile. Okay? And we're going to draw us a tile right here. Make it a pretty good size where we can read it and label it. And we're just going to use the first element on the periodic table. So we're going to put a number 1 here. Your first element has the symbol H. It has a number below, 1.008, and the name at the bottom, which is hydrogen. Hydrogen is number 1 on your periodic table. Okay. Now, since we've done that, we are going to identify some parts to this tile so you know what each one means. All right? We're going to start with this top number right here, the number 1. Or any top number. Number 1, number 2, number 3, doesn't matter what it is. The top number is called the atomic number. Most of you know that. Most of you know the atomic number is on the top. All right? But here's what you don't know. The atomic number tells you the number of protons and the number of electrons. So, for hydrogen, hydrogen has 1 proton and 1 electron. All right? This number right here gives the element its identity. And it's very important that you know that. All right? If we add 1 more proton and it becomes number 2, it's no longer hydrogen. It now becomes helium because it has 2 protons in it. So that number up top creates or identifies the element. And if this number changes, the type of element it is changes as well. Okay? Now, next thing we have in the middle is pretty simple. This big letter right here. This big letter is the symbol. The symbol is the nickname. All right. Now, hydrogen symbol is H, and that's pretty simple to remember. But there are several elements whose symbol does not match its name. So I want you to stop the video and take a minute and find 2 or 3 elements on the periodic table whose symbol does not match its name, and then restart the video. Okay. If you'll take a look, you will see that symbol or that element number, hang on, element number 11, sodium. It's sodium, but its symbol is Na. And you can also find another one, such as lead, number 82. Its symbol is Pb. And gold, which is number 79, is Au, and that does not sound like gold at all. So several of them don't match, okay? And you can find those throughout the periodic table. Now, let's move on to this bottom number right here. This bottom number is the atomic mass. The atomic mass is the total number of protons plus neutrons, okay? The total number of the protons plus the neutrons. And it gives you the most weight of the nucleus. The nucleus is the heaviest part. Let's write that over here. The nucleus is heavy, and the cloud outside is light. Okay? So most of your weight is found right up here in the nucleus, and then the rest of it is out here. The atomic mass is the total number of the protons and neutrons, so it's the weight of the nucleus. All right. And then the last thing is then at the bottom, and of course this one just kind of goes without saying. At the very bottom here you have the element name. Okay, now if this tells us that we have 1 proton and we have 1 electron, and the bottom number tells us the total number of protons and neutrons, then how do we find the number of neutrons? Okay, this is number of protons and number of electrons. So for hydrogen, hydrogen has 1 proton, but this number is also the number of electrons, so hydrogen has 1 electron. But we don't know how many neutrons it has. Well, if this bottom number are the protons plus the neutrons, then we're going to take the bottom number, subtract the top number, and that should give us the number of neutrons. Okay? So we're going to take the bottom number, which is the atomic mass, minus the top number, which is the atomic number, and that will give you the number of neutrons. All right, so we're going to round this number to a whole number. So 1.008 rounds to 1. Bottom 1 minus top 1 equals how many? 0. There are 0 neutrons in hydrogen. Hydrogen is the only element on the periodic table that does not have any neutrons. Every other element has neutrons. Okay, so our last part for today is to do our summary here at the bottom of all of the information that we just obtained. All right? Okay, so to do our summary, I'm going to help you with this first one, and we're just going to pull out the most important information. We know the atomic number is the number of protons, which is also equal to the number of electrons, and it gives the element its identity. Okay? We also know the atomic mass is the protons plus the neutrons. Okay? We know that the nucleus is the inside or the center, and it has the most mass. Okay. We know that the electron cloud is the outside, and it is very light. Okay? So those would be some of the most important things that we learned from this video. All right, this concludes your first set of flipped classroom notes on atoms, and I will continue with more notes or another activity at your next stop. Y'all have a great day.